Hello, hello. Hello, you found it. I've been having trouble here. I'm glad you could get on. Can you hear me okay? You may be muted. Let me just check and see here.
Hey.
I can hear you.
I hear you.
I'm so glad you found it because I've been having some trouble here. Let me see if I can get this going here. How are ya?
I'm doing good. I've got it all together on my phone, and then Steve said, "Well, get it on your computer so I can see you better."
Nice. Well, the roads are horrible. Did you have to drive anywhere today?
I did not, but I've walked out in it. I mean, you could fall down just walking.
I think it's going to be, I think my husband's right. I think it's going to be worse tomorrow.
Oh, no.
If it freezes, it's going to be bad, which I'm sure it will. So I was talking to somebody up in Alaska. It is minus 30 up in Alaska right now. Tell me that's not crazy.
Hey, we got it made. We got it made. I'm not complaining.
That's what I said after talking with her. I thought, oh my gosh, I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, we're warm, snug as a bug here in our homes, and maybe we'll have a meeting. Will other people be joining?
They should be. I had some trouble, so I'm going to see what we've gone ahead and started. We're doing it live, and we'll do a recording. So if people are stuck or whatever, I know I've had 3 people ask me to record it. I think I've got 3 other people who are confirmed that want to pop on. So we will get started and let them catch up because we're already behind. Okay, hello. So I know you said you were fairly new to essential oils. How long have you been using them?
I have just started this summer in a very novice way. I use it as a perfume, but it's an essential oil, and I use it for a couple little mild ways, but there's so much learning to be done, and I'm happy to be here to learn more.
Yay! Well, I'm excited to share. I started using essential oils probably 22 years ago. And I've used them in my home for cleaning. I've used them for kind of medicinal purposes. I've used them for a myriad of things. In my Reiki practice, I use them all the time. And so when people have different things going on, oils and feet are really powerful. So I figured I'd start us off. I wanted to share a quick video. The purpose of our little webinar tonight is really about just making people aware. So I know you are, but making people aware of the different, there's so many toxins we're exposed to. And I know some years ago, I was actually at a conference in Seattle. And I had talked with a doc at the time as a nurse. Obviously, my background is nursing. And I was talking with this physician who had moved his practice from back east to Seattle, in particular because it was a hotbed for his specialty, which was neuromuscular disorders. Matter of fact, here in the panhandle of Idaho, the Pacific Northwest, we have more cases of MS, Lou Gehrig's, those kind of neuromuscular disorders than anywhere else in the country, which is kind of perplexing. And I talked to him about that, and he said, he thought that a lot of that was due to the fact that, you look up here in the Pacific Northwest, some colder climates, people are indoors trying to keep warm 4 to 5 months out of the year, and we don't open up windows. People even seal their windows real tight to try to keep the heat in. And we have high rates of poverty, especially here in Bonner County. We have a lot of poverty. A lot of people shop for their groceries and their cleaners at the dollar store. And the problem with that is we use a lot of cheap preservatives. They help products stay on the shelf longer. They're cheap to manufacture. Very, very toxic. And you look at our produce, ripens on a truck. So our nutrition is pretty poor. Even if you've got good soil, if you shop organically, even if you're shopping at the grocery store or whatever, a lot of that stuff ripens on a truck to come up here. So when you look for a nice juicy tomato or a watermelon or something like that, that has ripened in a carton or a truck on its way over here, or it rots. It just can't withstand the transit time. So our poor nutrition, we're bombarded with chemicals, toxic chemicals. I know myself as a nurse, when I started on my Purge the Toxin journey, my healthy home makeover, you know, I was trained that when you want to kill germs, you bring out Clorox, potent neurotoxin. And, you know, my children at the time, about 9-10 years ago, had terrible, terrible eczema. Man, poor little guy, he would look like a plucked chicken. His skin was just so irritated. My little girl with terrible asthma. I myself was having some breathing difficulty, and I would get sinus infections all the time, as my husband might remember. To this day, if I get real snotty, he gets a little turned on because our honeymoon, we were both. I'm just joking. That's too much information. So I just want to share this quick little video. This is called Toxic Brew, and I really like it because it really was an eye-opener for me when I started looking into my home environment, and it really kind of woke me up. It's just a short blurb. This is like a consumer advocate show out of Canada, and I'm just going to share this with you here real quick.
Our clean freak streak is actually harming our kids. Here's Wendy Mesley with the story.
Sean Ellis is hunting for something. Something in this house that's invisible. In the air, maybe.
It could be the house. We're not sure.
Something that could explain why this family keeps getting sick.
In the past year, I found that I was getting really stuffed up and I developed bronchitis. It doesn't seem to be getting better. It just seems to be getting worse. So I want to try and find out what's going on.
Amanda Saul has severe respiratory problems. 5 weeks ago, she was rushed to the hospital because she couldn't breathe.
I called Sean because I was having a lot of problems breathing-wise, and I wasn't sure if it had to do with the house, with moles and stuff, or if it had to do with the air quality of the house, or maybe even our cleaning products.
Her oldest son, Kieran, is 3 years old. Like so many kids these days, he suffers from allergies, eczema, and recently, asthma.
It's my oldest that I'm concerned about because he has asthma, so anything could trigger that.
So Amanda turned to Ellis, a toxicologist who's begun marketing his services to anxious homeowners. Sean tests the air in people's homes, looking to see how many chemicals or other particulate matter may be floating there.
There's a growing concern about the connection between people's health and their indoor environments.
Sean tests for all kinds of things: mold, moisture, and more, he's testing for chemicals.
Some of my clients using cleaners, especially if it's a combination of cleaners, can actually make them dizzy or have headaches.
What he's talking about are cleaning products, like the ones Amanda and her husband use every day. Many of them contain chemicals.
I think the majority of the awareness of cleaning products in people's homes are that a cleaning product is natural and safe. I don't think people consider cleaning products chemicals.
And this young family likes their cleaners as much as anyone else.
It is very seductive to try and get the best cleaning product out there that will actually do the job. Open wide! In your mouth, not on the floor.
Speaking of seductive, check out the advertising. The Come On to Parents is full of babies and young children looking adorable and oh so vulnerable. It's a parent's job to keep them free from germs. So, say the ads, spray that change table with Lysol, clean that high chair with disinfecting wipes, and don't forget to mop those floors before putting baby down to play. Last year, Canadians spent over $275 million on household cleaning products.
They're appealing to the fear of danger for their children and the desire to keep them safe.
Lysol spray kills 99.9% of germs. Kathy Cooper is a senior researcher with the Canadian Environmental Law Association. What do you think when you see that?
I find it very troubling that those kinds of chemicals are being sprayed in a child's crib. I think it's unnecessary, and I worry about the long-term toxicity.
Cooper says there's a lot we don't know about the chemicals in our cleaners because companies are not required to tell us.
For cleaning products in particular, the only thing the label will tell you is that issue of, is it seriously toxic?
If you swallow it.
If you swallow it or get in your eye. Or, will the container blow up or whatever if you puncture it. But you don't have any information about chronic toxicity, long-term toxicity.
In Vancouver, Larry Stoffman is an international expert on chemical hazards information.
We're talking about children that are exposed to these products in the home, and they're exposed to these products on a 24-hour-a-day basis. We're also talking about hazardous ingredients that can have effects at very tiny levels of exposure. You never know, and you're never sure, what level is a safe level, and that assumption shouldn't be made.
Do you ever look at the label of your favorite floor cleaner or furniture polish? There's not much on it. That's because companies are protected by trade secrets. If you do find an ingredient, it's there because it could blow up or poison you. Many other chemicals are not even listed.
If we had the kind of labeling laws, for instance, they have in Europe, where it would tell you if this product contains something that may cause cancer, for example, and another similar product that does the same job doesn't, you might not buy the product that contains the carcinogen. If you didn't, then the market would determine what manufacturers put in their products.
We're basically conducting an enormous experiment on our children and our children's children.
Sean Ellis is testing the air in parts of the house where cleaners are stored. He's measuring volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. His meter does not tell you how strong or harmful the chemical particles might be. All it does is provide clues as to how many particles there are.
You can always smell those cleaners, even though they're all tightly sealed.
Sure enough, everywhere the cleaning products are kept, the readings jump. We asked Sean to test 3 of the products we saw in the commercials. The average home normally reads about 50 parts per billion. Let's see what happens with the Pledge, 273 parts per billion. According to Sean, anything over 500 could be a problem for sensitive people. What about Clorox wipes?
So again, a simple wipe, and the levels jump up from the hundreds into the thousands here.
And finally, the Lysol disinfecting spray.
We're now in the parts per million as opposed to the parts per billion. So you're looking at about 12,000.
That's about 1,000 times higher than the Clorox.
I'm cleaning the counters, but am I doing something opposite where I'm affecting my kids' respiratory problems?
We live in an increasingly chemical society. Experts don't know how dangerous these chemicals might be, but they are starting to worry. Dr. Gideon Corin is a pediatrician at the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto.
How can we, as one of the most advanced countries in the world, allow these to enter our household for small children without the appropriate testing to see that it's safe?
Dr. Corin says young children are especially vulnerable, partly because of exposure. Everything goes into their mouths, and they virtually live on the floor. But also, young kids are more sensitive because they're still developing the basic body systems, the brain, the internal organs, the respiratory and immune systems. Even the reproductive system is not fully developed until adolescence.
We got a call just last week from a supervisor in a daycare center. They said, well, we've been using some different cleaning chemicals in our daycare. And suddenly, not only the staff, but the children are complaining of problems. And they wanted to know what was in the cleaning products. There are no resources in this country for people like that to turn to.
And it's the same in the U.S.
Dr. Corin and a researcher are conducting a study. They're looking at the babies of mothers who are exposed to chemical solvents in the workplace. This mother worked in the packaging area of a chemical plant that produces pesticides and fertilizers for commercial use. Baby Jenna is having her vision tested. We don't know her results yet, but research on other kids is in. So you're finding that vision is affected in some of these fetuses, babies. What does that indicate? What does that mean?
Well, of course, vision is one of the functions of the human brain. So it means that these chemicals find themselves through mom, through the umbilical cord, into the baby, into the developing brain, and damaging functions there. And the baby is born already with a problem.
Jenna's mom was at least warned she was working with toxic chemicals. Manufacturers are obliged to release toxicology data in the workplace. When these same chemicals are used in the home, the exposure is lower, but no one knows what effect they may have, and there's no obligation to inform us.
Just doing a casual count, I noticed more than 10 different types of cleaners in your home.
Meanwhile, back at the Sol, Sean has just finished advising Amanda to cut back on some of her cleaning products.
I think I'm going to go through all of them and try and find one or two that will work. But also another way I might do it too is to try and see what natural products are out there.
If there's a demand for that, the industry will provide it.
So that's just a brief clip. It actually goes on, and that's a great video to look up. I highly recommend it because it's really informative. And you know, our cousins in Canada, they have a lot of the same. Hi, Sybil. Sybil's joining us live. That toxic brew is just a really great eye-opener. It gives you a lot of information. And, you know, like if you were working at a facility, those MSDS, those data sheets, I know that's where they list that toxic chemical that's on your Lysol, and not to breathe it, and not to eat off the surfaces, and yet it's not on the label, so it's really dangerous. And poisonings are one of the top causes of our childhood injury. So, you know, when I started looking into that, I was really motivated to, you know, just like you, Carla, you'd mentioned that, you know, finding some better, more natural ways to clean and keep your house really make a lot of sense. So most people turn to things like vinegar and essential oils, which I absolutely love because they're so multi-purpose. And that's really what we're going to talk about. I'm also going to introduce you to my shopping club. I actually have been using essential oils, and then I found this natural company based out of Idaho, and they have a line called EcoSense that I don't have to mix. That's really potent and researched as far as the germs it kills. I'll promise I'll share that, but I really want to keep the focus kind of generic tonight on how to really use some staple essential oils. And there's a lot of great resources out there. I think a while ago I had posted a video from a gal who went through and she showed how she used essential oils in her home. If you travel in Europe, I think Sybil's been to Europe. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Sybil, but I know they use a lot of vinegar over there. Now, some research has come through lately that says it's not as effective for certain things, you know, but one thing I want you to consider too, when you're in your home, okay, your home is accustomed to your flora, meaning the stuff that you shed on your skin is yours. So it's not going to be as dangerous for you. That doesn't mean that we want, you know, filthy homes. I really like a clean home. I can handle the clutter, but I don't want germs in my home. But, you know, one of the things they pointed out of a lot of us want this sterile environment. That's not necessarily good for us either. It's not really healthy for our immune system. Natural substances, my shopping club, I know the cleaners that they make, they don't even have safety caps on them. They're not required to because there are no toxins in them. You can drink them and it won't hurt you. But essential oils are some of my favorite because they're so versatile. I love, you know, some of my favorite companies. doTERRA is a fantastic company. They have high quality production of their essential oils. Young Living is another one, and they actually are grown. Their herbs and their ingredients are grown right up here. So you're buying local, you're supporting local, and they have high quality standards. I get mine now from Melaleuca. They have a pure line of organic essential oils. Doesn't really matter, but I will tell you that you do want to go with a quality oil. Now, some companies will market the therapeutic grade, or they have different grading systems for their essential oils. That's for themselves. There is really no standard for grading oils, but it is important to choose, you know, to really look into the manufacturing process And their standards for quality is important. The kind of essential oils that you get in the aisle at Fred Meyer are probably not the same quality that you're going to get from like Young Living or doTERRA or Melaleuca or something like that. So you certainly want to choose a good quality manufacturer. I'm just going to go over a few of my favorites, and I would love to hear what your favorites are. One that I cannot ever do without is lavender. Lavender is a natural antibiotic. It's an antiviral. It has a fantastic scent. It's very calming. You can use it on your skin. I like to put mine on those. I don't know if you guys seen the dryer balls, the little wool balls. Those are great. And you can put a few drops of your favorite essential oil on there and infuse your laundry with a nice scent. And those wool balls actually help your laundry dry faster, so it can save you a little bit of cash. And you're not using a chemical-laden fabric softener. A lot of the fabric softeners out there, they smell great. We like that smell, but oh my gosh, my daughter, she cannot walk down the laundry aisle in a grocery store because she will go into a full-blown asthmatic attack. She can't breathe. So, and you know, once I got rid of the chemicals in my laundry, made a huge difference. A lot of laundry ingredients, a lot of laundry products out there are really, really toxic. So, but anyway, lavender is one of my very favorites. You can use it for a lot of things. You can sprinkle it on your pillow or on your sheets. Bugs and mites don't like lavender. Imagine that. Isn't that great? So like every spring, I love to mix some in some distilled water, or even not so much in vinegar, because vinegar kind of ruins the smell, but I love combining vinegar with other essential oils like oregano. Oregano is fantastic. Do you guys use oregano? Do you know? You have? Carla has.
Carla has not.
Oh, you have not. Oregano is amazing. Oregano is a great one also because, one second here. I'm looking for my handy dandy little herb Bible, but oregano is great because it kills bacteria. So a lot of times when you're sick, if you have a high quality, I can't tell you how much to use, but it's, you know, we can look it up. I can help you look it up, but you can actually put it in a capsule. It helps to fight off bacteria, colds and flus and things like that. Putting it on the soles of your feet. Interesting, much like acupuncture, if you've ever worked with an acupuncturist. Have you ever worked with an acupuncturist, Carla?
I have not.
Or Sibyl? Well, one of the you know, when you go to an acupuncturist, you might go in for a sinus infection, and there they are putting needles in the top of your feet, and you're saying, wait a minute, my sinuses aren't down there. But you know, sometimes when we travel farther away from where we're trying to hit, it's actually more effective. And there's a reason for that, which I can't remember for the life of me, but I remember reading once in a book why that was. It follows some of the dermatomes or neural pathways, something like that, and can be very effective. Essential oils are actually absorbed very well from your feet. So if you have a cold, using something like oregano or eucalyptus, that was mentioned, eucalyptus is fantastic for breathing. And a lot of your essential oil companies out there will make a combination. Something like Melaleuca's is called Vapor, doTERRA's is called Breathe. Those are fantastic. It's a combination of essential oils like peppermint and eucalyptus that really help to open up your airways. And it can be fantastic. Also, peppermint. I know Sibyl's in college. She's a brainy one. Peppermint. You can put a little dab on your collar during an exam. It helps with mental alertness. So if you're going through a stressful time, or you really want to keep your wits about you, or you've got kids and whatever in school, sprinkle a little peppermint. It can help you perform to a higher level with your mental acuity.
Sibyl is in college?
Sibyl she's a brainy one. She's studying computers. Hi, Sibyl. She is in California. She's out of San Diego, Chula Vista.
Well, I moved from San Diego, but my son just graduated from college, and that's one of the things I did. I put peppermint in his car so that when he's driving late at night, so he wouldn't fall asleep, he takes a whiff of the peppermint scent and it wakes him back up. But another thing I have found is that if you drop the peppermint on your finger and you put it on the roof of your mouth,
Oh.
Oh my gosh, pow. You are, yeah,
Peppermint on
exactly.
the roof of your mouth, she said.
Yeah. You are alert. And I've done that a lot. That's
Ooh.
I don't know a lot, but that's something I've done.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
That would really zing you, you know, and I know, Sybil, I know how hard, I've seen some of your posts where you're working really hard and you're up late at night. And I knew a guy once who, through engineering school, when he was going to college, he stayed awake for his exams and studying with no dose. Horrible for your heart and your kidneys and everything else. And he actually ruined his eyesight like that.
Wow.
So, yeah, there are some natural ways that we can be healthy and, be alert to. Yeah, so here, peppermint. You want to dilute it as needed. You can find all of this, like if you're a doTERRA fan, on a doTERRA website, they have booklets. If you go on to melaleuca.com/US guest, you can check out all of our organic oils and their prices, which are significantly lower than anywhere else I found. And you can actually access the sheets that tell you all about. So if there's an oil that you want to know about, this is a great go-to that helps tell you how to use it. You want to be careful. You know, a lot of times we think that because something's natural, we can just use it. But keep in mind, some essential oils or herbal extracts or things like that, they can interact with medicines, or sometimes they can be harsh on your skin. Not necessarily harsh, but they're so strong that you want to dilute it with a carrier oil, something like coconut oil, which I love just because coconut oil has so many great properties, or almond oil I love just because of its, it does that to me. So peppermint, lavender, we've talked about oregano, which is also rosemary. Rosemary is one that I'm kind of new to in the last 2 or 3 years. It has a nice scent that's very clean and kind of invigorating, but not overpowering. Rosemary, thyme, those are fantastic germ killers. As a matter of fact, there's some of the major ingredients in one of my favorite EcoSense cleaners called Soluguard. Soluguard is one of my favorite. It has been clinically shown to kill staph, tuberculosis, HIV. I think they said rubella. It's crazy. It's the only natural cleaner of its kind that's been approved for uses in hospitals and nursing homes and daycare centers. I would love to see.
Kimberly, who makes
That's a Melaleuca product, EcoSense. I'll show you. I have a quick video that introduces their line to you. That's kind of what drew me to Melaleuca years ago, was their cleaning line. You know, sometimes, you go to Winter Ridge or you go to a Whole Food store, and sometimes, they're great because you can find natural products, but they're really expensive a lot of times, or they just don't work as well. So we go back to using, the toxic stuff. So I have really found my Melaleuca products, the EcoSense line, to be more effective than what I was buying at the grocery store. And it really gives me a lot of peace of mind, because I know I'm not going to give my kids cancer, 30 years, or myself 30 years from now. I can do my tub and tile, and I don't have to turn on a fan. My daughter doesn't go into anaphylactic shock. It's fantastic. But the same thing holds true. Find some of those oils that you really like that, and a lot of times you'll find that when you have a yin for a scent, it's because there's something in there that your body needs. Our bodies are so wise. I really believe, as a nurse and as a Christian, I really believe our bodies were designed to heal themselves. And if we give ourselves what we need, we can be healthy and vibrant and wonderful. We can perform to our maximum. We can be the healthiest that we can be. And essential oils are so fantastic. The other thing that's really powerful about essential oils, and why they're so powerful, is that the molecules are such that they can actually, some of them can cross the blood-brain barrier, which is amazing. I love that. Highly effective. So anyway, going back to, we talked about lavender, fantastic, very calming properties, antibacterial, antiviral. Same thing. Rosemary is a fantastic germ killer. Sorry, Sybil. Oregano as well, antiviral, antibacterial, very powerful. Let's see, I have 2 of those. We talked about peppermint for its properties there for alertness. It's very stimulating. Let's talk about my daughter's favorite. She loves the citrusy smells. Oh my gosh. So when we went to California and Sibyl, you weren't there, and I got to go in your backyard. I am in love with your orange tree. Oh my gosh. And you smelled those. You lived down there too, didn't you? Those, oh my gosh. You walk by an orange blossom and I am so gone. I absolutely love that scent. Orange and lemon, they're fantastic. Those citrusy agents are great whiteners. They're great for killing germs. They're also great for elevating your mood. Orange pairs well with some other ones. If you want to add a little headiness to it, it works great with cinnamon. You can also combine it with eucalyptus in your shower. It's fantastic. A little eucalyptus, you can get a bath, you get a big sponge and put it in the floor of your shower. You can put a few drops of eucalyptus and a drop of orange in there, and oh my gosh, you have an experience. And there are some other companies that are marketing. I'm really fascinated by, I can't remember the name of the company, but I saw they have a little device that hangs on your shower. And when you're in this shower, it somehow a little bit of the oil comes out and you get this gorgeous aromatherapeutic shower, which I think that would be fantastic.
Okay, where do we find that?
I don't know, but when I see it again,
Yeah.
I'll post it and share it because I want to try that. I don't know why I didn't at the time, and now I can't find it. But compare that with some other great scents that you might like. It's known for its cleansing, purifying properties. I love it too in the laundry, especially if you're going through a tough time, maybe a little sadness, a little transient depression. That works fantastic as a mood lifter. You can rub it into your palms even, and just breathe it in for a quick boost. I love to use, Carla showed her pendant. I got to show you, Sibyl. She's got, and I think my daughter swiped mine. But show us your pendant.
Okay, so here, I don't know if you can see it. It's on my turquoise shirt. Okay, basically what it is, it's an essential oil necklace that has, here we go, that's better. All right. This one's a sunshine, and inside is a black felt. And I put wild orange in there, and it does exactly what Kimberly says. It just elevates your mood. It's wonderful. But that little black felt changes colors. I can put red or white or turquoise, any color I want. And then I drop my essential oil on, and I match my outfit. It's my favorite thing.
That's just what it matches your outfit. It elevates your mood, or you can put some, if you've got a cold, put a little eucalyptus on there. Fantastic. I love those. I used to have one that was it was a gorgeous little hand-blown little bitty pot. It was just little bitty, and it was beautiful. And you could put a few drops of essential oil in there and uncork it and smell it. But I like that better because it's just enough for you, not enough to overpower anybody. And so much different than fragrances. A perfume is great, but there's a lot of other things in perfumes that maybe aren't as healthy for you. So I really love the essential oils. What's your favorite one? You like the orange?
Right now I only wear the wild orange. I love it. It just, people smell it, they like it too. I'm not wearing the perfumes I used to wear. It's my new perfume. I'll try another one someday, but this is it, wild orange.
That's awesome. Well, you'll find that you'll have a yen for those that you need. So it's a good idea every once in a while, if you're shopping for oils, try a new one. Smell it on. So oh my gosh, my girlfriend, my chiropractor, best chiropractor in Sandpoint, by the way, Diana Brewer. But anyway, she just got the grapefruit, and I've never smelled grapefruit. So I'm really anxious. Have you smelled? Do you like grapefruit?
I have. Grapefruit's wonderful too. Yes, I would use grapefruit.
Oh, she would use grapefruit, so that's one to try.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've talked about a few so far. A little lemon. I love this, especially for countertops and things like that. Mixing it, a few 10 to 20 drops in a little sprayer bottle with some distilled water, and it's a fantastic antiseptic, disinfecting agent. I will read about that one to you if I can find it. Oh, I have them alphabetized. I'm smarter than I look. Go figure. So lemon, here, purifying properties. It's neat, so you don't have to dilute it. You can apply it directly to you. Those citrusy oils like orange and lemon and grapefruit, they can be photosensitive, meaning if you are liberal with it, be careful because it can cause a sunburn if you're out in the sun. So that's worth mentioning. You can massage it. Here on the chest or the stomach, they recommend, especially if you've got a little bug going around. You can use it in your dishwasher, they recommend, or even laundry if you want to give it a little fresh perk. And that would help to disinfect and clean up your dishwasher as well. A great idea. Or, it's the same properties when they tell you to take a lemon peel and grind it up in your garbage disposal. Same thing. It's a great way to really clean stuff out. Interesting to note, citrusy things in the body as well. Matter of fact, they've done studies on bears, of all things, and they find that bears do not have high cholesterol, but they also manufacture their own vitamin C. Humans don't. Very interesting. And some studies that Big Pharma probably doesn't want published have shown actually that people taking, I have to be careful as a nurse, people taking mega doses of vitamin C, which I can't condone because I'm a nurse, I'm not a doctor, but some studies have indicated that mega doses of vitamin C, megadose being 1,000 milligrams or so, that megadoses of vitamin C have actually been shown to clear blockage from the arteries to help remove plaque and whatnot. Of course, so does high fiber, but very interesting research that's done there. Certainly what's worth looking into if you've got plaque issues, cholesterol or whatnot. So we've talked about my very favorites. Now a very heavy one, a sensual one, if you want a little tip. It's commonly, you find it in perfumes. It's very heady, it's very potent. You only need a tiny bit. It's called Lang Lang. You guys ever use that one? Y-L-A-N, Y-L-A-N, Lang Lang.
Nope.
Very sensual. It's very rich. It's a deep floral. It's very heady, so you don't want to go sprinkling it everywhere. Very heady. But this helps to provide emotional balance, releases tension. It's great for your skin and your hair. It promotes healthy looking skin and hair. So sometimes what I'll do, and like argan oil, if you're into argan oil for your hair, you can take just a drop and rub that in and put it through your hair, especially in the summer when you walk by, you'll be like, birds will sing around your head. It's a great fragrance, but it just takes a little bit. It pairs really well with grapefruit, which I am excited to try because that would give a nice lifting top note. The heavier scents, those, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about rich, heady scents, they tend to linger on the bottom. So sometimes when you mix, and it's really important too to mention, if you're mixing oils, you're going to lose the power if you mix more than 3 oils. So it's really important if you're mixing oils, mix 2 or 3. Don't mix more than 3. Sometimes I'm tempted. I have to tell you a story that'll kind of tickle you. Early on, when I first started playing with essential oils, I worked in this rural hospital with a fantastic doctor. And he was so funny. He had this mustache that twirled around. I mean, it was just corny. If you looked at him, you thought, what a goon. And then he'd open his mouth and you say, oh my gosh, I got to take notes. He was brilliant. So I walked on the floor in the ER one night. I was charge nurse in the ER, and I walked on and took a report, and he says, wow, you smell great. And I thought, wow, awesome. Yeah, you smell just like a pipe.
What were you wearing?
Mix a few too many oils. Anyway, so don't mix a whole lot of oils. You'll really kind of dilute the effectiveness. One last one that I want to share with you that's one of my absolute favorites, and I use it all the time for nicks and cuts and scrapes and burns and everything. As a matter of fact, I just nicked my poor little poodle and I gave her trim last night. Melaleuca oil. Melaleuca tea tree oil. This is a fantastic all-purpose oil. And you'll notice when you drop it into your water, into your distilled water, it'll almost turn milky. This is the primary ingredient in Melaleuca's cleaner called Solumel, which I highly endorse. And I'll tell you why. But you know, the Melaleuca tree grows wild in Australia. As a matter of fact, Melaleuca company owns this huge acres and acres of farm in Australia where they have, I guess they make the highest quality Melaleuca oil. But anyway, the leaves will hang over these ponds and they'll drip the sap into the pond. And the Aboriginals and the local folks, they'll go and bathe in these ponds. They'll just hang out in these ponds. And it's been known to heal wounds and makes their skin great. So if people are sick, they go hang out in this pond and they get better. Really, really interesting. So, you know, if I have a deep wound or something like that, it goes in a bucket with Solumel, and I put some extra Melaleuca oil in there. We've even seen it used on the battlefront in deep wounds. We've gotten really great results from Melaleuca oil.
How do you spell Solumel?
Oh, I'm going to show you. But I'll show you that. Solumel. I'll show you. There's a quick video. I'll show you. It takes about 2 minutes. I'll wrap up with. But I wanted to see, does anybody have any favorite oils that maybe I have neglected? Or anybody have any questions about oils?
Well, I do. Well, not a question. I just wanted to show you something. So once I started learning about essential oils, I was in Canada this summer. This is called Cinderella's Organic Housekeeping.
Ooh.
And it's concentrated, so I can, like, you know, use it many, many times. And it's so awesome. So what's in it, I wrote it down, is coconut oil, olive oil, hemp oil, glycerin, citrus acid essential oils, vitamin E.
Okay.
And
vitamin E, orange citrus oils.
Coconut oil, olive oil, hemp oil, glycerin, citrus acid essential oil, and a vitamin E. And I have used this. I mean, I cleaned all day today, the cabin where my son was staying.
Yeah.
And I cleaned, you know, and I love it. It cleans everything. It smells good. So I was hoping tonight to be able to come up with some sort of recipe to make my own, you know, to go in a bottle, but it'll do everything. This does wood. It does counters. I don't have to buy the granite stuff anymore, or the pledge, or the...
Oh, I love that. Well, you've got some great ingredients in there. Olive oil and hemp oil, those are readily available. You can find high quality olive oil even in your grocery store. Hemp oil, I know Whole Foods has. Melaleuca doesn't have that. I don't think doTERRA has hemp oil either.
And glycerin, what's glycerin?
Glycerin, you can find that in your drugstore. As a matter of fact, I got to tell you, I use one of my I'll tell you one more oil, rose oil. It's very expensive. When you look at rose oil, and it comes out every once in a while, Melaleuca has this rose oil. And to give you an example, it's like $70 a bottle. It's
wow.
Expensive, I think. Let me check how much it retails.
Oh, frankincense.
Oh, frankincense. Oh my gosh, how could I skip that one? You have to have frankincense in your first aid kit. We'll talk about that in a minute. But rose has the highest frequency of any plant, any herb. Oh, it doesn't have it in here. It's kind of rare and it's really spendy. So you won't see it like doTERRA that will come out with it, I think, at Christmas time. I've seen it come out. It doesn't come out very often because it's hard. It takes a lot of rose petals to make a little bottle. I mean, like truckfuls. It takes a lot of rose oil. It's very expensive, but it's very, very effective. This is like gold to me. I treasure rose oil right up there with frankincense and myrrh. Oh my gosh, very powerful. If you're really going through a tough time, I mean like divorce or death or something really tough or an illness, I will take this and I'll put it over my heart chakra. If you know about chakras, I'm happy to do a class on that too. Or put some right here under my nose. Or even get some glycerin. Glycerin is a natural vegetable oil, and it's fantastic for your skin. If you want to make a cheap homemade lotion, in fact, I have some great skincare recipes that you can, they're just fun to do sometimes, to make your own and have a stay inside, make your own skincare night. They're fantastic. Glycerin and a little bit of distilled water and a drop of rose oil will lift your mood like nobody's business. This is a powerhouse. This is something to save your pennies for when you see it, jump on it, because it's not available in any company for long. When you see it, you need to grab it because it goes fast. Rose oil. Frankincense and myrrh, if you think about it, that's biblical oils. You know, our ancestors and our progenitors, they used those and valued those for a reason. They were effective. And I will tell you, frankincense is the granddaddy of your great healing oils. Fantastic if you're going through an illness or even a cancer or some kind of serious autoimmune or disease process. Not that it's marketed for that. It's not endorsed by the FDA or Big Pharma, thank goodness. But anyway, it's highly effective. Rub it on your feet here. This is a treasured ancient oil. It's highly versatile. You can rub it into your palms and inhale it. It's fantastic if you apply it here on your temples or your hairline for rejuvenation. It also promotes healthy looking skin, wound healing. It also helps to elevate the mood and the focus. And you don't have to dilute that. So you can feel liberal to apply that anywhere. This is a fresh, woody, spicy, balsamic fragrance with a little citrusy top note. Has everybody smelled it, I wonder? Do you have frankincense?
Yeah.
Do you love it?
I don't have it, but does Sybil have it? I don't have it.
I love it. Sybil, do you have frankincense? Is amazing. This is a fantastic oil. So Melaleucas, their preferred customer, their wholesale price is $40. So it's significantly lower than what I found with doTERRA. The other one that I like is myrrh. If you haven't used myrrh, that's another great for healing. It also helps, like if you want to do some meditative work or some kind of emotional healing, it's great for historically it was used to help soothe and smooth troubled skin. So like eczema or psoriasis, potent cleansing properties. So it can really help with wound healing or whatnot. It has a really nice, creamy kind of smell to it. You don't have to dilute it. And again, these oils, if you go on the Melaleuca site, it'll even tell you what to pair it with. That you might want to try if you were making your own oils, or even to dilute in a diffuser. Do you have a diffuser?
I do.
I love a diffuser.
I've only used it once.
Diffusers are fantastic because you apply a little bit of water, put a few drops of your favorite oil. Cold and flu season comes around, and I put in Armor, or On Guard is doTERRA's version. It's the same kind of thing, great immune booster. But I love that. Or if I'm stressed or troubled, or I have a kid having trouble sleeping, a little bit of lavender, diffuse that. It can really help to calm your whole household, which is great. Help to relieve stress. Okay, I've not seen any questions from you. You're really quiet, Sybil. Anyway, give me a shout if you have any questions here. I'm going to get paired up. I'm going to show you. I would think, Carla, I would think that would be a pretty nice recipe. And I'll even shoot you a video from a gal here that uses those kind of oils in her cleaning agents. Just remember, it doesn't take a whole lot of the oil. So like the olive oil, that's kind of a carrier oil, and that's why it's good for your wood and your floors. It's not going to strip them or dry them.
Yeah.
Like a Melaleuca oil, or if you had too much of the citrusy oil, that'll pull moisture out of the wood. It'll also work great, like you said, on your granite or even stove tops. So you know how you get the grime on your stovetop and it's hard to clean, and you sit there with your sponge and it just doesn't seem to come off? That's because there's oil on there. And it's oil soluble. It's not water soluble. So use an oil base to help get that clean. Then you can go over it with a citrusy kind of cleaner, and you'll look like you have a brand new range.
It does. It makes everything look good, this bottle I have with all these essential oils. But I wouldn't even know where to begin with how many drops.
I'll tell you, any kind of oil, you don't need more than 10. If you have a big bottle like that, I would probably
10.
Oh yeah, very potent.
Wow.
Essential oils are really, really potent.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think most of this liquid must be distilled water.
Uh-huh.
And you wouldn't know how much coconut oil, olive oil, glycerin. You just play with it, I guess, huh?
Well, when you let that sit, can you see it separate?
Very, very slightly. It doesn't separate.
Very, very slightly. So that's your clue how little oil they use. If they use like a tablespoon, you're going to see it separate, and you're going to see a thick layer. So for a lot of those, when you mix them up and you're adding some of the essential oils, their particles are so fine, and their energy in those particles are so fine that they tend to dissolve a little more readily than big molecules like olive oil or coconut oil. So when you use one like that, it will probably be more effective. Shake it up before you use it. And that's why, like the olive oil or the coconut oil, I would probably put 3 to 5 drops in a container like that. I might put 10 drops of my favorite fragrance, like the citrusy.
Right. Wild orange. That's what's in here, and it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild orange.
You might put a couple drops of lemon in there.
Yep, yep.
And the hemp oil, you wouldn't need very much of that. That's a very fine molecule. You might put a couple, 2 or 3 drops of the hemp oil in there.
Okay. Glycerin.
Glycerin. That's going to be fantastic. You can put quite a bit of glycerin in there. You might even want to put like maybe 1/3 of the bottle of glycerin.
Okay.
That's what's going to give you the nice sheen. Also combining with the oils, that's going to give you a nice sheen on your wood.
Okay.
Or your granite, and it will help to mix the other oils.
Hemp oil, we got 2 to 3 drops. Olive oil.
Yeah, and you might even play around with it when you make it. If it's not quite right, you might alter it a little bit. And the thing to cut back on would be those heavier, those bigger molecules in the oil, the olive or coconut oil.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a minute for one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was in Canada, this is another thing they had. All right, this inside here, they made Play-Doh for children.
Oh!
And this Play-Doh ball has, this one's mint, but the purple ones had lavender. And it has sparkles in here.
Oh my gosh.
So there's glitter. Glitter sparkles are through this dough, Play-Doh.
My little primary class would freak out.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome. And it smells good for the children. It's good for them. You know, put the scent in that you want for them, either to be relaxed or rejuvenated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to teach too, so that's why I got so excited about this.
Oh, I love that idea. I might make some for them.
Yeah.
That is fun. What a great stress reliever too.
Exactly.
For the grown-ups on your list, play with some, I like that, Play-Doh, and put a few drops. Somebody else was telling me that they made Play-Doh and they put essential oils in there.
Yes.
That's an awesome idea. I wonder if that was you.
It wasn't me, but isn't it simple?
Yeah. What a great idea.
You had to share that. That's our.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun one. All kinds of things. Or even, I suppose you could even put a drop of your favorite oil in your shampoo, I suppose, if you had a scented shampoo. I'm going to share with you one more thing. This is just a little blurb on how to use a diffuser if you haven't used one yet. It's 1.5 minutes. Oh, you can't see it.
Will they talk? Can we hear it?
1 second here. I'm so crazy. I gotta put share screen. I'm only smart on Tuesdays. It's not a Tuesday. So she just put water into the diffuser. Most diffusers run the same way. It doesn't take very much, just 3 to 5 drops. So here they have peppermint, orange, and lemon. So most diffusers have those same kind of properties. What they said on there was important. You don't want to find one that uses heat or anything like that, because it will actually break down your oils, which is also why, you know, if you have a nice case, a lot of companies will make a case for your oil. That's to keep them protected from light and heat, which is important. So don't leave them on a sunny window on your kitchen counter. I know that can be tempting. Don't do that. I want to share one more video with you. This is on EcoSense. Let me share this with you here, if I can get it going. Oh. 1 second. So Melaleuca has a program, since I'm having to reload it here. Melaleuca has a program where you can go the products that you're interested in looking at. They have over 500 natural products that kind of replace what you're using in your home that you're buying at the grocery store. And they're all toxin free, but you can see for watching this video, they're going to give me $5 that I can use to go shopping with. So like this month, I went shopping, $50 for natural cosmetics and little pampering things. It's kind of fun. So let's try this again here.
Safety is a driving force behind everything Melaleuca does. You'll see it in the ingredients they use in their products and those they don't. They don't use chlorine bleach, ammonia, phosphates, or toxic chemicals with cheap, poisonous ingredients that require warnings because they can be extremely dangerous, even fatal. Instead, Melaleuca cleaners use highly effective, naturally based ingredients. Ingredients that have incredible cleaning power, yet are still safe. All of Melaleuca's nature-inspired formulas are so safe, child-proof safety caps aren't required. And for all of you who think safer products don't clean as well, think again. Melaleuca's EcoSense products are proven to work as well as or better than the safety-capped grocery store products you're using today. And certainly better than the so-called green cleaners you may have tried in the past. Melaleuca laundry products get out even the most challenging stains, keeping your family's clothes looking clean and fresh. And Melaleuca's Solumel uses the penetrating power of pure Melaleuca oil to solve all kinds of cleaning problems. Here's another example. We've covered this shower door with the same soap, scum, and buildup you'd find on your shower door at home. We'll spray one half of the door with Melaleuca's Tub and Tile Bathroom Cleaner, and the other side with the leading grocery store brand, Lime Away. Then we'll wait 20 seconds. Now let's rinse off the products and see how well each does at removing the soap scum. As you can see, with Tub and Tile, the soap scum rinses almost completely away, while Lime Away leaves scum on the shower door. And Tub and Tile is 6 times concentrated, so that one bottle cleans as much as 6 bottles of Lime Away, and doesn't have all the safety hazards as Lime Away. With 16 safer for your home cleaning products, Melaleuca can help you clean better and experience the peace of mind that only comes with a safer home.
Sorry about the drag there. Yeah, it's worked out that, you know, one of those bottles, because it's so concentrated, you know, I mix a bottle, it works out to be about $1 a bottle.
Wow.
It's hard to beat that, even at the dollar store. So if you have questions about that, or you want to take a peek at the Melaleuca line, well, give me a shout. I don't want this to be like a sales thing or anything like that. But the neat thing is that, you know, we don't stock inventory or sell things. All we do as Melaleuca marketing executives is simply help people set up wholesale shopping accounts. So when you become a preferred customer, it's kind of like a Whole Foods and a Costco combined. which has been really great. We've been customers for over 9 years. And so those few products that I mentioned, highly I endorse. It's taken nail polish, that Solumel that they mentioned, melaleuca oil being the main ingredient. So if you wanted to mix up a little of your own, that has gotten fingernail polish out of my carpet that nail polish remover wouldn't get out. That's amazing to me. It's taken out permanent marker from my car upholstery. As you've had children, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can use it to steam my carpets. It's safe to put in a steam cleaner, which I love because, you know, a lot of times those solutions that you use when you steam your carpets can be incredibly toxic, and it doesn't have to be, you know. Now you can probably, if you have your own carpet cleaning machine, I don't know that you'd want to do that with the stores necessarily because they probably have a fit, but I haven't had any trouble, and I use it all the time in my carpets. You know, you can use a little, dilute a little melaleuca oil and try that. So if you have a good carpet steamer, that's just done great for me. But I really, you know, whatever way you can, get the toxins out. A lot of us don't need all the cleaners we think we do. You know, we tend to go for what's flashy and new, and that can lead to some problems. We see more cancers now and autoimmune disorders than we did just 20 years ago. I was talking with a doctor friend of mine, and he says, you know, I see cancers now every day that we used to just read about. And he's a young doc. He says, I just used to read about some of these cancers. You never saw them. They were rare. Well, now you see them all the time. Cancer should be really hard to get. You know, the pathophysiology behind cancer, I'll just share. In order to develop cancer, you have to have 7 different distinct and individual hits on a specific genetically susceptible strand of DNA in order for that strand of DNA to mutate and cause a cancerous kind of process to begin. That should be really tough. We are bombarded. You know, we're exposed to chemicals. It's in our shampoo. I love Melaleuca also has one of the only sulfate-free shampoos on the market under $5, which I love. There's sulfates in everything. There's all kinds of harmful, you know, even in your toothpaste, you know, and they, like, for instance, formaldehyde has 40 different trade names. The reason being is because if they put on the label formaldehyde, you wouldn't buy it. But we can give it another long chemical name and, you know, people buy it all the time. Johnson & Johnson. Matter of fact, there was just a big lawsuit out with Johnson & Johnson for the harm it's done. Or baby powder, talc. Hopefully nobody's using talc. My first experience with talc, and there was some hanging out when I went to nursing school a bazillion years ago, and I was sprinkling it all over my dummy, giving a practice bed bath. And my nursing instructor came up and almost slapped me silly. She said, don't you ever do that. It's caustic. It tears up the lining of your lungs. I'm like, oh my gosh, but we give it in our baby packs in the hospital. That's terrible. So I hope that we just kind of keep our eyes open, say no to the toxic chemicals. There's a lot of Mother Nature gives us a lot of alternatives that are really effective and that will certainly make you happy to clean your house, and you won't have guilt later on wondering if, you know, I've seen a lot of patients in their homes, people with MS, Lou Gehrig's, we have a lot of them up here. And I've had people ask me, I wonder if it was my fertilizer. I wonder if it was, you know, just share the information. You know, help your friends, you know, be aware of things. You know, when people express an interest, share with them your love of essential oils. Give them some good resources to go to learn more. That's kind of where it starts. I was hungry 9 years ago. My babies were really sick. And, you know, the Carla knows a little bit there. She's helped us a lot. And I can't help but wonder if chemicals weren't a part of that. And I'm just grateful that I learned about it when I did and got them out of my house. I certainly don't have the sinus and bronchitis as I used to have quite regularly. I even had an ENT tell me it would be a matter of time till I had to have sinus surgery, which scares the dickens out of me. Those little bones are eggshell thin. I've seen, anyway, as a nurse, I can tell you some horror stories. But I'm really glad not to have that in my future. If you have questions, reach out. If I don't know the answer, I'll help you find it, or we share resources. I love it when people share ideas. So thanks so much, Carla. Your ideas were fantastic. I love the pendant. I gotta find mine because now I'm hungry for it. And the Play-Doh is a great idea. Don't be afraid to mix and, you know, make some of your favorite. Hold on one second. Don't be afraid to try your own, you know, cleaners. Your home's probably a pretty clean place. And so, you know, don't think that you've got to go crazy. Ultraviolet light, by the way, is another one. I have an ultraviolet light thing, and every few weeks I'll put our toothbrushes in there.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic. You can even soak them in like a little melaleuca oil and some just, you know, just plain tap water. Mix it up in there. It's a great cleaning agent. Some of those things are hard to clean.
Huh.
I know years and years ago when I played in a band, I had this cold I couldn't get to go away. And then it finally dawned on me, I wasn't cleaning out my mouthpiece. Saxophone. So, you know, those things we don't think about. You know, just keeping some, or when you've got colds going around, spray down your knobs and your lights and your microwave and your, you know, just kill some of those viruses. It's really, really good for you and your family. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me. That was a lot of fun. If you have questions, like I say, reach out. I love to share information. If you have tips, or Carla, let us know how you do when you mix your own wild orange cleaner. I would love to know your recipe, what you do, and how you like it, how it works, how it stacks up.
Will do. Enjoyed this, Kimberly. Thank you so much. You're very knowledgeable. Appreciate it.
Oh, right back at ya. Thanks for popping on, Sybil. You can't see her except for the bottom.
No, I can't see.
Yeah, she's just a little bitty blank. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll have it recorded, and I'll put it in our little natural site there. You can feel free to share it with friends who are interested or whatever. So anyway, hugs and kisses. Thank you so much.
Okay. Night, night, Kimberly. See you later.
Bye, Carla. Bye, Sybil.
Thank you.
Bye.